Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever feel like you are stuck in a loop of worry and low mood, and it is hard to believe things will ever get better? This new study might offer some hope and a new way to think about it. So the big question this research looked at is whether a specific type of therapy called process and embodiment-focused psychology, or PEP for short, can actually help people with depression and anxiety. And maybe even more importantly, does it help them feel more capable and confident in themselves overall? They wanted to see if this PEP therapy is better than just getting some information about mental health. Now, how did they test this? They had 25 adults who were dealing with symptoms of depression, and some of them also had anxiety. They split them into two groups. The first group, the experimental group, got therapist-guided PEP treatment. Think of it like having a professional help you through a special kind of therapy designed to get to the root of things and connect your mind and body. The other group, the control group, got a PEP-based self-help manual. So they were told to read a book and try the techniques on their own for about 6 weeks. They measured everyone's depression, anxiety, and their general feeling of being capable, their self-efficacy before and after this 6-week period. And what did they find? Well, both groups showed improvements over time, which is great news in itself. For example, everyone's depressive symptoms went down, but here is where it gets really interesting. This means that the people who received the therapist-guided PEP treatment saw much bigger improvements in their depression and anxiety, and they also had a much bigger jump in their feeling of self-efficacy. It is like the guided therapy was a stronger fuel for change. In plain English, the effect for the PEP group was huge. For example, their depression scores dropped dramatically. The self-help group also saw good changes, especially in their depression and anxiety, and a decent boost in self-efficacy. But it wasn't as dramatic as what the therapist-guided group experienced. So, what does this all mean? The researchers suggest that PEP therapy, especially when guided by a therapist, seems to be a promising way to help people with depression and anxiety. It doesn't just focus on getting rid of the bad feelings, but also on building up a stronger sense of self-belief, which they call generalized self-efficacy. This is a key idea behind PEP. They believe that if you feel more capable, you are better equipped to handle tough situations, which in turn helps with depression and anxiety. Think about it this way: when you feel like you can actually handle things, you are more likely to try and less likely to get overwhelmed by negative thoughts. The PEP therapy uses a mix of things like talking about your thoughts, connecting with your body, and even something called sensory motor self-stimulation, which sounds fancy, but it basically means using physical actions like tapping on certain points on your body while thinking about something difficult. This combination seems to help people directly experience that they can manage their distress, which directly builds that inner confidence. This is where the connection to Bandura's theory of self-efficacy comes in. The therapy seems to hit all the right spots to build that belief in oneself. And this is really important clinically. This means PEP could be a really accessible and effective option for people who are struggling. The fact that it focuses on building resources like self-efficacy is a big deal because it suggests longer-lasting improvements. So it is not just about feeling a little bit better, but potentially moving out of a diagnosis category and really building lasting resilience. The researchers also think that because PEP is structured but flexible, it could be great for everyday therapy settings, even for non-specialist providers, which could really help get more people access to effective treatment. Now, like any study, this one has some limitations. This means that while the groups improve differently, we can't say with 100% certainty that PEP magic alone caused it. It is possible a few other things were at play since people weren't randomly put into groups. So we don't know for sure how much of the improvement was just people naturally feeling better over time or the effect of just reading something, versus the specific PEP techniques. And with only one therapist delivering the PEP sessions, we can't be sure if any therapist would get the same results. However, the study is a pilot, meaning it is an early look and it gives us really promising hints. What is next? The researchers definitely want to see this studied more ideally with larger groups and by randomly assigning people to either PEP or other types of therapy. They also want to look more closely at how PEP builds that self-efficacy, because that seems to be a really key part of why it works. It would be great to see if these improvements last. So, to sum it up, this pilot study provides some exciting early evidence that therapist-guided PEP treatment might be a really effective way to help people struggling with depression and anxiety. It seems not only to reduce symptoms, but also to build up that crucial inner strength and belief in oneself. While we need more research to confirm these findings, it's a hopeful step towards more accessible and building therapies for mental well-being. What do you think about this research? Have you ever tried a therapy that focuses on both your mind and body? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and if you found this breakdown helpful. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab so you don't miss our next dive into the world of psychology. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.